Hi everyone, it's me Stephanie again, coming to you from Transition Salon at 8124 Kennedy Avenue in Highland, Indiana. You've just tuned in to the Talking Transitions All About Hair channel, where we have hair education for the consumer given to you by an educated professional, me. This week, we're talking about the scalp. Dry scalp, dandruff in the scalp, maybe psoriasis or even eczema. The reason why I want to bring this topic up is because a lot of times we don't understand the differences in the three or maybe even 4 or 5 different situations that some of us have going on with our scalp. And it's important for us to understand the difference of what's going on in our scalp so that we can go ahead and seek the proper attention so that we can take care of our scalp, because that is the breeding ground for this amazing hair that we're growing, right? We're going to talk about the difference between a condition, a disorder, or an infection. If we have a scalp condition, that can be treated by the stylist through shampooing and conditioning, keeping the scalp clean, moisturizing the scalp, as well as applying any essential oils to the scalp to help maintain the scalp's healthiness. If there is a scalp disorder, we've escalated to another level from condition. In a disorder, it is a situation where we have a prolonged issue, okay? That's where your dandruff and your eczema will come in. If these situations are not treated properly, then they could escalate into an infection, and none of us want a scalp infection. Now, with a disorder, you can still get your hair done by a licensed professional, but in a disorder situation, you want to go ahead and seek medical attention. Maybe visit a dermatologist or even your primary care physician and explain to them what's going on with your scalp. Again, with a disorder, is something that even if you visit the stylist, the situation is prolonging itself. You might find some mild irritation in the scalp. You might find larger flakes of skin that is building up on the scalp that's not actually leaving as it should. And when you remove those dead skin cells that are lying there on the scalp, you might find some tenderness under that area. You want to seek medical attention. In a situation where you have an infection, you're going to see a presence of pus. You could very well see a presence of extreme redness and soreness, even a presence of blood. In those situations, the stylist should not continue the service, especially if you have any open sores in the scalp. Once the stylist has discovered any of these situations going on in your scalp, they need to discontinue the service and disinfect any tools or utensils that were used on or near the scalp. They need to inform you that you need to seek medical attention, whether it's by a dermatologist or your primary care physician, so that you can understand what's going on in the scalp, and you do not want that situation to spread or get any worse. Okay? Now, if your scalp is simply dry, where you have maybe smaller flakes, and you might even have dryness in other areas of your skin on your body. Now, once you get your hair shampooed properly, receive a conditioning treatment, and apply essential oils to your scalp, you won't see any redness, you won't see any flaking, and you won't see any swelling or any presence of any unhealthiness in the scalp. If there's a disorder present, once the professional stylist has done their job, you might see a prolonged issue, whether it's a light redness, whether you might see small bumps in the area. You might see something that's continuing to spread in a particular region of the scalp. In that situation, you definitely want to visit a dermatologist or, again, a primary care physician and have them take a look at it. Because one thing about a disorder, if you don't take care of it once it's discovered, it can escalate into an infection. Again, you don't want to come into a situation where you have extreme redness, soreness, swelling, pussing, any presence of blood in the scalp, or anything like that. What drove me to want to talk about this on tonight is the fact that a lot of times we want to scratch an area and maybe dig up the dead skin. and see what's going on under there, or we think we are getting some relief from scratching up the dandruff. That's a very unsafe practice to take part in, because what we're doing is, if that area is maybe possibly infected, or if there is a disorder present, we're actually making the situation worse. If your sebaceous glands are not working properly, then of course we want to apply some external oils to help the scalp along. Also receive scalp massages to help stimulate the production of the oil from those glands. But if you're applying the oils, you're receiving your scalp massages, and you're properly shampooing and conditioning and taking care of your hair and scalp, and you do not see any improvement in those situations, then more than likely you have a disorder and you should definitely seek medical attention. Those of you out there, when you see those situations going on in your scalp, whether you see the pussing, whether you see the extreme redness, do not take it lightly. You want to treat your scalp as well as you treat any other area of your body where there's skin, and we have skin everywhere. And we want to make sure that our skin is good and it's healthy, because again, we want our hair to grow in a nice, healthy environment. And that means we have to take care of the skin that's on our head, which is called our scalps. So I want you all to just take a moment and think about that, spread the information. And another important thing to do, and I talked about this in another video, but I want to stress it: clean your tools at home. Clean anything that's touching your hair, whether you're using a scarf, whether it's your pillowcase, whether it's hats that you're wearing, because if you're, you can trace things. You can actually spread is the word I want to use. I apologize. But you can spread things. So if you have a situation going on your scalp, and you're using dirty utensils, you're using dirty tools, or maybe your hat is dirty, your scarf is dirty, you're just creating a worse situation for your scalp, and it's just not good at all. So I encourage you, clean your tools. Hopefully you can clean them every day. That's really the best opportunity for you to maintain cleanliness in your scalp as well as your hair. But please don't go beyond a week, because remember, you have different bacteria, different germs. They're sitting there, they're growing, and we want to make sure that that's not adding to any other problems that we have going on in our scalp. So remember, condition, disorder, infection. We don't want it to get to the state of infection. So if we see something going on that's prolonged, and upon visiting the professional stylist, we don't see any improvement, there is nothing wrong with seeking a doctor to find out what is going on, so that you can receive the proper ointments or any type of help that you may need. Lastly, drink your water, take your vitamins. Your body will love you for it. Not only will your body love you for it, but your hair will love you for it. Well, that's all I have for today. I will definitely take questions. You can leave comments on here. That will be awesome and amazing. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Never forget, your hair is your glory. Let it tell its own story. Your hair is unique. It has something to say. Let it speak. I'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good night.